Most people outside of America, when you look at America, you look at a really rich country, and you think you're gonna come and get rich and do the same as everybody. But when you get here and you realize you don't speak the language, you have to work hard to get everything you want. You have a lot of barriers you need to conquer. I think everything is completely different. I remember the first 2 weeks, I felt like I was dreaming. Actually, when I was driving here, and the streets look different, the buildings look different, even landscape everything is a shock. Well, I never went to school here in America to learn English. Most of the time I have 2 jobs, so I never had the time to take classes, but I just learned talking. So international students, we have some tests or extra steps that we need to take in order to get in school. First, I have my high school degree in El Salvador, so I have to transfer all that, but instead of in El Salvador, it's a lot of paperwork to do that. So I decided just to take my GED here instead. And after I got my GED, I had to take the TOEFL test, which is an English test that all international students need to take here in America. And besides that, I needed to be at college level on English and try to remember math and all the stuff that I needed for college. It was kind of hard because it's been like 12 years since I was in school. Educational opportunities are way better here than, at least compared to my country, and I believe most of Latin America is the same way. In my country, in El Salvador, we don't have financial aid, for any kind of financial aid from the government, not even loans from the banks. You just have to be able to afford the cost of tuitions and living expenses and everything. The job opportunities here are great here in El Salvador. I think especially because El Salvador is such a small country, the job market is probably overflowing with professionals, and it's hard to get a job. You can get a 4-year degree and still be working on something else, not even related to your career. I feel sad sometimes when I see American people, American-born people, not taking those opportunities. For me, it was a challenge. I have to wait like 12 years to get everything in order to get in school, and people here are just wasting their time. And even when I talk to young kids at church and other places, I keep pushing them, the idea they need to go to college. Well, I think probably food. It has to be. There's one dish over there in Salvador. It's like our traditional dish is called pupusas. It's like kind of like a tortilla stuffed with cheese and meat. And nowadays, my mom lives here, so she can make some for me. But otherwise, it's hard to find them here. Oh, I think the whole culture. I think it will be hard for me to get used to living in El Salvador again. Here, especially the feeling of security. El Salvador is really violent, and you don't have that peace that you can have here. Well, El Salvador is a great country. It's I think it's one of the smallest countries in the world. But even though we have great people, friendly people, we have a lot of hospitality, like people, it's nice. And I think the best thing about El Salvador is the eco tourism. We have a lot of places that you can go.